I have proof over here that Falun Gong, FL star or FLG over here, is fake news to smear China. So Canada and other NATO countries like the USA, led by the USA, of course, they keep saying, "Oh, China has a human rights problem, doesn't respect freedom of religion and all that." What's fake news? What do we have behind me over here? Yeah, that's right. It's a mosque. So, I have a solid case here from Canada that just exposes the FLG or Falun Gong or FL Star fake news smear campaign against China. So, in this case over here, we have Mr. L, who is a Chinese citizen. He left China and applied for refugee protection status. So, he's a UN protected person, refugee, according to UN Convention on Refugee. So he became a permanent resident of Canada because he got his refugee application approved by Canada back in 2015 or 2016 or whatever it says over here. So he claims that he was being persecuted and a victim of anti FLG stuff in China. But then a few years later, he renews his Chinese passport without any problems from the Chinese consulate or embassy in Canada, and he returns to China for 6 months. During a 6 month stay in China, he encounters absolutely zero problems from the government, police, or whatever, and other people that he knows because Falun Gong is just fake news, and this guy was just using an excuse to become a refugee in another country. So he lands at the airport in Vancouver, and he's questioned by the border guard, and eventually the government of Canada revokes his permanent resident of Canada status for providing fake news. But so once you, and this is just fake news because he was never persecuted in the first place, and now the government of Canada has solid proof where if somebody is able to get a passport from their own country and go to their own country without a problem, it means that they're not being persecuted and they no longer need protection under the UN Convention on Protected Refugees or Protected Persons. And so, yeah, he gets stripped of his permanent resident of Canada status. So this is just more proof that the only people who push this fake news Falun Gong persecution thing are the fake news Western media who wants to go on a smear campaign against China, and the people who do claim that they're being persecuted because of Falun Gong. It's actually fake news because they just want to try and build a new life in another country. But this also speaks for Canada's intolerance towards other people. This guy was in Canada for like 5 or 7 years or whatever, so that's a fairly long time. And Canada has shown no compassion to people who are already in Canada, and they just throw the book at people. This is related to the Cold War 2.0 waged against China by the USA and NATO lapdogs, including Canada. If you're a Chinese person, especially Chinese citizen, they'll look for every possible reason and angle to screw you over and have you removed because Chinese people are not welcome. Chinese people and Asian people in general in Canada and USA are viewed as second class and unwanted people if not 100% necessary to keep them or allow them to reside in your typical Western country.